a study guide open and a small U.S. flag on the table.
Hi, Mark. Welcome back. Are you ready for your first round of citizenship practice?
I'm ready, Anne. Let's get started.
Question 1. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. March 1st. B. April 15th. C. July 4th.
I'll go with B. April 15th.
That's correct. April 15th is known as Tax Day in the United States. It's the deadline for sending your federal income tax forms to the IRS. Filing late without an extension can lead to penalties. It's an important date for everyone living and working in the U.S., and it comes up every year. Question 2. What is the form of government of the United States? A. Monarchy. B. Republic. C. Dictatorship.
I'll go with B. Republic.
Exactly. The U.S. is a republic, which means citizens elect representatives who make laws and decisions on their behalf. This is different from a monarchy, where a king or queen rules, or a dictatorship, where one person has absolute power. Republic is the core idea behind America's democracy. Question 3. Why did the colonists fight the British? A. Because of low taxes. B. Because of free trade. C. Because of high taxes.
I'll go with C. Because of high taxes.
Correct. Colonists were angry about high taxes on items like tea, paper, and other goods, especially since they had no representatives in the British government to speak for them. The phrase, "no taxation without representation," became a rallying cry for independence. Question 4. What does the judicial branch do? A. Makes treaties. B. Enforces laws. C. Reviews laws.
I'll go with C. Reviews laws.
That's right. The judicial branch, including the Supreme Court and other federal courts, reviews and interprets laws to make sure they follow the U.S. Constitution. This is called judicial review. They do not enforce or create laws. Question 5. Who vetoes bills? A. The Supreme Court. B. Congress. C. The President.
I'll go with C. The President.
Exactly. The President can veto or reject bills passed by Congress. This is part of the checks and balances system to keep any one branch of government from becoming too powerful. If the President vetoes a bill, Congress can still make it law, but only with a 2/3 vote. Question 6. Name one state that borders Canada. A. Florida. B. California. C. New York.
I'll go with C. New York.
Correct. New York is one of several states that share a border with Canada. Others include Michigan, Minnesota, Alaska, and more. Knowing these states is helpful for both your interview and U.S. geography. Question 7. What does the President's Cabinet do? A. Declares war. B. Advises the President. C. Elects the President.
I'll go with B. Advises the President.
That's right. The president's cabinet is made up of the heads of executive departments like defense, state, and education. They meet regularly to advise the president on important issues, but only the president makes final decisions. Question 8. Who led the civil rights movement? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. Martin Luther King, Jr. C. Barack Obama.
I'll go with B. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Exactly. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. was the most prominent leader of the civil rights movement. He used peaceful protest and inspiring speeches to fight for equal rights for African Americans and to end segregation and discrimination in America. Question 9. In what month do we vote for president? A. January. B. June. C. November.
I'll go with C. November.
Correct. Presidential elections are always held in November, usually on the first Tuesday after the first Monday. This tradition dates back to the 1800s and was chosen to make voting more convenient for citizens, especially farmers. Question 10. Who was the first president? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. John Adams. C. George Washington.
I'll go with C. George Washington.
Absolutely. George Washington was the first president of the United States. He served from 1789 to 1797, led the country after the Revolution, and set many standards for future presidents. Mark, you did an outstanding job today. I can see your confidence growing with every answer. You're listening, thinking, and explaining your choices really well.
Thank you, Anne. I feel a lot less nervous now. Your explanations help me remember why the answers matter, not just what they are.
That's the key. When you understand the why behind the answer, it's much easier to remember. Before your real interview, keep these things in mind. Practice speaking. Say your answers out loud, even to yourself or a family member. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel on test day. Use flashcards. Mix up the order and quiz yourself on tricky questions. Stay up to date. For questions about current leaders, double-check names the night before your interview. Stay calm. If you don't know a question right away, take a breath and ask the officer politely to repeat it. It's okay to pause and think. Believe in yourself. Every session you complete gets you closer to your goal. Mistakes are part of learning. What matters is your progress and effort.
I really appreciate all of your advice and support, Anne. It makes a big difference.
You're very welcome, Mark. I'm proud of how far you've come already. Keep practicing just like this, and you'll be ready. Next time, we'll work on more questions and keep building your skills. Remember, you're not just memorizing facts. You're preparing for your future as a U.S. citizen. I believe in you.
Thank you, Anne. I'm ready to keep going.
That's the spirit. Let's keep moving forward together.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 groups and repeat answers. Part 2, Q1120. Anne and Mark are in the same bright office. The atmosphere is a bit more relaxed after their first successful session.
Welcome back, Mark. Ready for the next 10 questions?
I am. The first round helped me feel more confident. Let's keep going.
Great. I'll read each question, 3 answer choices, and after you choose, I'll explain. Remember, take your time. Let's start. Question 11. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? A. To run for president. B. To be loyal to the United States. C. To travel abroad.
I'll go with B. To be loyal to the United States.
Correct. When you become a U.S. citizen, you take an oath to be loyal to the United States. This means supporting and defending the country's laws and constitution, and sometimes even serving in the military or working for the government if needed. It's a very important promise, showing your commitment as a new citizen. Question 12. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. A. The Civil War. B. The Revolutionary War. C. The War of 1812.
I'll go with A. The Civil War.
That's right. The Civil War was fought from 1861 to 1865 between the North Union and the South Confederacy. The main causes were slavery and states' rights. It's one of the most important events in U.S. history, leading to the end of slavery. Question 13. Who did the United States fight in World War II? A. China, Russia, and Japan. B. France, England, and Germany. C. Japan, Italy, and Germany.
I'll go with C. Japan, Italy, and Germany.
Exactly. In World War II, the United States and its allies fought against the Axis powers, Japan, Italy, and Germany. The war lasted from 1939 to 1945 and had a huge impact on world history, leading to major changes in many countries. Question 14. What is the economic system in the United States? A. Command economy. B. Mixed economy. C. Market economy.
I'll go with C. Market economy.
Correct. The U.S. has a market economy, which means that supply and demand determine most prices and production. Individuals and businesses make most economic decisions, although the government does play a role in regulation. This system supports entrepreneurship and competition. Question 15. Who signs bills to become laws? A. The Chief Justice. B. The Speaker of the House. C. The President.
I'll go with C. The President.
That's right. After Congress passes a bill, the President reviews it. If the President signs it, it becomes law. If the President vetoes, rejects it, Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 vote. This is part of the checks and balances between branches of government. Question 16. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. A. Only men can vote. B. Any citizen can vote. C. Only property owners can vote.
I'll go with B. Any citizen can vote.
Exactly. One important amendment says that any citizen, man or woman, can vote. Other amendments ended racial restrictions and lowered the voting age to 18. Together, these amendments make voting more fair and inclusive. Question 17. Where is the Statue of Liberty? A. Boston Harbor. B. San Francisco Bay. C. New York Harbor.
I'll go with C. New York Harbor.
Correct. The Statue of Liberty stands in New York Harbor. It was a gift from France in 1886 and is a symbol of freedom and hope for immigrants coming to America. It's one of the most famous landmarks in the U.S. Question 18. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators? A. Answers will vary. B. Joe Biden. C. Abraham Lincoln.
I'll go with A. Answers will vary.
Right. The answer depends on the state where you live. Each state has 2 U.S. senators, and you need to know at least one of them for your interview. Check your state's official website or voter information to be sure. Question 19. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A. Ended World War I. B. Freed the slaves. C. Established the Supreme Court.
I'll go with B. Freed the slaves.
Exactly. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 during the Civil War. It declared that all slaves in the Confederate States were free. This was a huge step toward ending slavery in the United States. Question 20. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? A. The Articles of Confederation. B. The Federalist Papers. C. The Bill of Rights.
I'll go with C. The Bill of Rights.
Correct. The first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution are called the Bill of Rights. They protect individual freedoms like freedom of speech, religion, the right to a fair trial, and more. These rights are a core part of American democracy. Mark, you handled these questions really well. Your answers are getting stronger, and your explanations are more confident every time.
Thank you, Anne. I feel more comfortable now, especially after practicing out loud.
That's wonderful. The more you speak and explain your answers, the more natural it becomes. Remember, for your real interview, keep practicing speaking aloud, especially your explanations. Double-check facts that can change, like your senators' names. If you don't know an answer, it's okay to pause and think, or politely ask the officer to repeat the question. Focus on understanding, not just memorizing. Connecting each answer to a story or picture helps you remember better. Believe in yourself. Every time you practice, you're making real progress toward your goal.
Thanks for your encouragement. These tips really help keep me motivated.
You're doing all the right things, Mark. Step by step, you're building the skills and confidence you need. Next session, we'll keep building on your success. You're on your way to becoming a U.S. citizen.
I'm ready for it. Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome, Mark. Let's keep up this great momentum.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 Groups and Repeat Answers. Part 3. Q2130. Anne and Mark are at the same office table. Mark has a pen in hand, ready for the next round.
Mark, you've completed 20 questions. Let's move on to the next 10. Remember, I'll explain each answer in detail after you respond.
Thanks, Anne. Let's do it.
Question 21. We elect a president for how many years? A. 2. B. 6. C. 4.
I'll go with C. 4.
That's correct. In the United States, the president is elected for a term of 4 years. After 4 years, there is another election, and a president can serve only 2 terms, so a maximum of 8 years. This 4-year term is written into the Constitution to make sure that Americans have regular opportunities to choose their leader. It keeps leadership fresh and accountable to the people and helps prevent anyone from holding too much power for too long. Question 22. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? A. Europeans. B. Africans. C. Asians.
I'll go with B. Africans.
Exactly. Beginning in the early 1600s and continuing for more than 200 years, millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes and brought to America as slaves. Most worked on plantations or in households, especially in the South. They had no freedom or rights and were considered property. Slavery had a deep and lasting effect on American society and led to the Civil War. This history is important because it reminds us why civil rights and equality are such important values in the United States today. Question 23. Who was president during World War I? A. Woodrow Wilson. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. C. John F. Kennedy.
I'll go with A. Woodrow Wilson.
Correct. Woodrow Wilson was the 28th president, serving from 1913 to 1921. He led the United States during World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918. Wilson was known for his efforts to keep the U.S. neutral at first, but he eventually brought America into the war to help the Allies win. After the war, Wilson worked to create the League of Nations, the first international group aimed at keeping peace. Even though the U.S. didn't join the League, his work helped shape the world's approach to peace and cooperation. Question 24. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Calvin Coolidge. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. C. Harry S. Truman.
I'll go with B. Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Absolutely right. Franklin D. Roosevelt, or FDR, was elected president 4 times, serving from 1933 until he died in 1945. He became president during the Great Depression, a time when millions were out of work and the economy had crashed. He created the New Deal, which was a series of programs to create jobs and support struggling families. Later, FDR led the U.S. through most of World War II, working closely with other Allied leaders. His leadership during 2 of America's hardest times made him one of the most important presidents in history. Question 25. How many U.S. senators are there? A. 50. B. 100. C. 435.
I'll go with B. 100.
Correct. The United States has 100 senators, with each of the 50 states electing 2 senators, no matter how big or small the state is. This is different from the House of Representatives, where the number depends on a state's population. The Senate was designed this way to give all states an equal voice in making laws and decisions, which is very important for a fair government. Question 26. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? A. World War I. B. World War II. C. The Korean War.
I'll go with B. World War II.
Exactly. Dwight D. Eisenhower was a 5-star general and the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe during World War II. He led the planning of D-Day, the huge invasion that helped defeat Nazi Germany. Because of his leadership and popularity, Eisenhower was elected president in 1952. His military experience helped him make important decisions during the Cold War. Question 27. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. Freedom. B. Wealth. C. Adventure.
I'll go with A. Freedom.
Correct. Many colonists left Europe and came to America to escape unfair laws, religious persecution, or to find better opportunities. Freedom included religious freedom, the right to speak and worship as they wanted, and freedom from government control. This search for freedom became a founding value of the United States, and it's why so many people continued to come here today. Question 28. What is the name of the President of the United States now? A. Joe Biden. B. Barack Obama. C. Donald Trump.
I'll go with C. Donald Trump.
That's correct. For the time this answer was written. The name of the president changes with each election, so it's very important to double-check this before your real interview. Interviewers want to know that you follow current events and are aware of the government leaders. Question 29. Name one right only for United States citizens. A. To run for office. B. To pay taxes. C. To vote in a federal election.
I'll go with C. To vote in a federal election.
Right. Only U.S. citizens are allowed to vote in federal elections, such as choosing the president, senators, or representatives. Voting is both a right and a responsibility. It's how citizens have a direct voice in who leads the country and how the laws are made. This right is one of the most important parts of citizenship. Question 30. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York. B. Los Angeles. C. Washington, D.C.
I'll go with C. Washington, D.C.
Correct. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. D.C. means District of Columbia, and it is not part of any state. The capital is where you find the White House, Congress, and the Supreme Court. It's the center of government for the entire country, and it's full of important monuments and history. Mark, I'm really impressed by your progress. Your answers are quick, and your understanding gets deeper every time.
Thanks, Anne. Your explanations help me connect the facts to real stories and history.
That's the best way to remember. Here's some extra advice for the next stage. When you learn a new answer, try to picture it in your mind. A historical event, a face, a place. Connecting information to images or stories helps it stick. Always double-check facts that can change, especially government officials, right before your test. If you forget an answer during your interview, stay calm. Take a deep breath and ask the officer to repeat the question if you need. Practice explaining why each answer is correct, just like you're doing now. This will help you stay relaxed and clear during the real interview. You're doing everything right, Mark. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll feel.
Thank you, Anne. I'm really starting to believe that I can do this.
You absolutely can. Remember, your effort and your story are your strengths. Every answer you give is another step toward becoming a U.S. citizen. I'm proud of your hard work, and I look forward to our next session.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 Groups and Repeat Answers. Part 4. Q3140. The familiar office. Mark arrives, looking more at ease with each session. Anne is ready to guide him through the next milestone.
Mark, you're already at question 31. That's incredible progress. Are you ready for this next round?
Yes, Anne. I can really see my improvement.
Fantastic. Remember, I'll read each question and the answer choices, then you choose. Afterward, I'll give you a detailed explanation. Let's get started. Question 31. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? A. To declare war. B. To give a driver's license. C. To print money.
I'll go with B. To give a driver's license.
Correct. The Constitution gives certain powers only to the states. One example is the power to issue driver's licenses. States also set rules for education, marriage, and local elections. Other powers, like declaring war or printing money, are for the federal government. This balance helps keep government close to the people and allows states to manage their own affairs. Question 32. What is freedom of religion? A. You must join the main religion. B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. C. You have to follow the government's religion.
I'll go with B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
Exactly. Freedom of religion is protected by the First Amendment. It means you can follow any religion you choose or none at all, and the government can't force you to believe or worship a certain way. This freedom was a big reason many people came to America, and it remains a core value in American society. Question 33. What does the Constitution do? A. Elects the president. B. Sets up the government. C. Declares war.
I'll go with B. Sets up the government.
Correct. The U.S. Constitution is the highest law in the country. It sets up the structure of government by creating 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. It also lists the powers of each branch, protects individual rights, and explains how laws are made and enforced. The Constitution is the foundation of all American law. Question 34. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. To drive. B. Speech. C. Free healthcare.
I'll go with B. Speech.
Absolutely right. The First Amendment protects several freedoms, but freedom of speech is one of the most important. It allows people to express their ideas, beliefs, and opinions without fear of government punishment. This is essential for democracy because it lets everyone participate in public discussions and debates. Question 35. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. A. The Revolutionary War. B. The War of 1812. C. World War II.
I'll go with C. World War II.
Correct. World War II was fought from 1939 to 1945. The United States joined after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 and played a major role in the victory over the Axis powers. Other wars fought by the U.S. in the 1900s include World War I, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Gulf War. Question 36. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Mike Johnson. B. Nancy Pelosi. C. Kevin McCarthy.
I'll go with A. Mike Johnson.
That's correct. Mike Johnson is currently the Speaker of the House. The Speaker is the leader of the House of Representatives and is third in line to become president if both the president and vice president cannot serve. This position can change, so always check the most recent information before your interview. Question 37. Name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States. A. The Hudson River. B. The Colorado River. C. The Mississippi River.
I'll go with C. The Mississippi River.
Exactly. The Mississippi River is one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States. The other is the Missouri River. The Mississippi runs from northern Minnesota all the way to the Gulf of Mexico and has played a huge part in American transportation, history, and culture. Question 38. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? A. Sonia Sotomayor. B. John Roberts. C. Clarence Thomas.
I'll go with B. John Roberts.
Correct. John Roberts has been the Chief Justice since 2005. The Chief Justice leads the Supreme Court and is responsible for managing the court's business and representing it to the other branches of government. Like other officials, the Chief Justice can change, so check this before your interview. Question 39. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. A. Thomas Jefferson. B. John Jay. C. George Washington.
I'll go with B. John Jay.
Exactly. The Federalist Papers were a series of essays written to convince people to support the new Constitution. The three main writers were John Jay, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton. These essays explain how the new government would work and why it was better than the old system. Question 40. Who makes federal laws? A. The President. B. Congress. C. The Supreme Court.
I'll go with B. Congress.
That's correct. Congress makes federal laws for the entire country. Congress is divided into two parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Members debate, write, and vote on bills. Once both houses approve a bill, it goes to the president to be signed into law. This process helps make sure laws are considered carefully and represent the will of the people. Mark, you're really getting the hang of these. Your accuracy and confidence keep improving. Can we talk a bit about what's working for you and how you might prepare even better for your exam?
Absolutely. I've found that practicing out loud with you makes a big difference, but sometimes I still worry about remembering details or mixing up similar questions.
That's a great observation. Let me share a few study strategies that help my students. Mix up your practice. Don't always study the questions in order. Use flashcards or have someone quiz you randomly. This trains your memory and keeps you from just memorizing a list. Teach someone else. Try explaining the answers to a friend or family member, even kids. Teaching helps you really understand the material. Use short, regular sessions. Instead of cramming, do a little every day. Frequent, short practice is much better for long-term memory. Visualize or write stories. For harder facts, imagine a story or picture. For example, imagine handing over your driver's license at the DMV to remember that states issue licenses, or picture a courtroom to remember the judicial branch reviews laws. Stay current. Some answers, like the Speaker of the House, can change. Always check the latest information before your test. Practice under pressure. Time yourself or ask someone to quiz you without notes. The more you simulate the real interview, the more comfortable you'll be.
I like the idea of mixing up the order and practicing under pressure. I've never thought of teaching the answers to someone else before.
It really works. Explaining something out loud helps you find what you know well and what you need to review more. Also, don't be afraid to use your daily life as practice. Watch American news, try to use the new words you learn, or even quiz yourself on the way to work.
That makes sense. Sometimes I get nervous just thinking about the test, but these ideas help me feel more in control.
That's normal. The goal is not perfection, but progress. If you get a question wrong, just review it again. And during your interview, take your time, listen carefully. And if you need the officer to repeat a question, just ask. Staying calm and steady is just as important as knowing the answers.
Thank you, Anne. I feel much more prepared after every session.
I'm very proud of you, Mark. You're doing everything right, practicing, asking questions, and using smart strategies. If you keep this up, you'll be ready for anything on test day.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 groups and repeat answers. Part 5, Q4150. Anne and Mark meet again in their office. The stack of reviewed questions is now impressive, and Mark's confidence is clear.
Mark, you've already made it to question 41. Your dedication is really paying off. Ready to keep going?
I am, Anne. I feel so much better each time we practice.
Wonderful. I'll read each question with 3 choices. After your answer, I'll explain in detail. Let's do this. Question 41. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. A. Taxes. B. Slavery. C. Railroads.
I'll go with B. Slavery.
Correct. Slavery was the biggest and most important issue that led to the Civil War. Many southern states depended on slave labor and wanted to keep slavery legal, while many in the North wanted it to end. Disagreements over this and whether new states should allow slavery eventually tore the country apart and led to the war. There were other issues, but slavery was the main one. Question 42. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? A. Inflation. B. Communism. C. Trade.
I'll go with B. Communism.
Exactly. The Cold War was a long period of tension after World War II, mostly between the United States and the Soviet Union. The main concern for the U.S. was the spread of communism, a system where the government controls all property and decisions. The U.S. wanted to stop communism from spreading to other countries, so it supported democracy and capitalism in many places around the world. Question 43. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. He bought Alaska. B. He freed the slaves. C. He wrote the Constitution.
I'll go with B. He freed the slaves.
Absolutely right. Abraham Lincoln was president during the Civil War, and he issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared that all slaves in the Confederate States were free. He also worked to keep the country together and is remembered as one of America's greatest presidents. Question 44. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? A. The President. B. The Speaker of the House. C. The Secretary of State.
I'll go with A. The President.
Correct. The President of the United States is the Commander-in-Chief of the military. This means the President is the highest authority over all U.S. military forces and can make important decisions about national defense, though Congress must approve declarations of war and funding. Question 45. What are the two major political parties in the United States? A. Labor and Green. B. Libertarian and Independent. C. Democratic and Republican.
I'll go with C. Democratic and Republican.
Right. The Democratic and Republican parties are the two main political parties in the United States today. Most presidents, senators, and representatives belong to one of these parties. Each party has its own ideas about government and how to solve the country's problems. Question 46. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? A. The Senate and the House of Representatives. B. The Supreme Court and the Cabinet. C. The President and Vice President.
I'll go with A. The Senate and the House of Representatives.
That's correct. Congress is the lawmaking branch of the U.S. government, and it has two parts, the Senate and the House of Representatives. This system is called a bicameral legislature. The Senate gives equal representation to each state, while the House is based on population. Question 47. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A. To pay taxes. B. To serve in the military. C. To vote in a federal election.
I'll go with C. To vote in a federal election.
Exactly. Only U.S. citizens can vote in federal elections, like those for president and Congress. Voting is both a right and a responsibility. It's how citizens help choose their leaders and make decisions for the country. Question 48. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? A. To set up schools. B. To print money. C. To issue driver's licenses.
I'll go with B. To print money.
Correct. The federal government has certain powers that only it can use, and one of the most important is the power to print money. Only. The federal government can create U.S. dollars. Other federal powers include declaring war and making treaties with other countries. Question 49. What are two rights of the Declaration of Independence? A. Freedom and security. B. Happiness and property. C. Life and liberty.
I'll go with C. Life and liberty.
Absolutely right. The Declaration of Independence says all people have the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These ideas are the foundation of American freedom. They mean that everyone should be free to live, be independent, and seek happiness in their own way. Question 50. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 7. B. 9. C. 11.
I'll go with B. 9.
Correct. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States and has 9 justices, 1 Chief Justice, and 8 Associate Justices. The number has been the same since 1869. The Supreme Court interprets the Constitution and decides on important legal cases that affect the entire country. Mark, you finished 50 questions. That's a huge accomplishment. Let's talk about how you're studying and what more you can do to prepare for your exam.
Thanks, Anne. I'm definitely more comfortable now, but I still worry about forgetting small details or getting nervous during the interview.
That's totally normal. You're doing great, but here are a few more strategies that can make studying easier and help you perform your best on test day. Make your own flashcards. Write the question on one side and the answer on the back. Go through the stack every day and focus on the ones you get wrong. Practice in a test environment. Sit at a table, no notes, and ask a friend or family member to read you questions at random, just like the real interview. Use memory tricks. For example, if you have to remember there are 9 Supreme Court justices, imagine them all sitting in a row. For rights like life and liberty, imagine a picture or scene. Focus on the questions you find hardest. Mark them with a star and review those every day, even if you know most of the others. Take care of yourself before the test. Get enough sleep, eat something healthy, and leave plenty of time to get to your appointment. Stay positive. Remember, everyone is nervous. Even people born here forget details. If you get stuck, ask the officer to repeat the question or try to answer with what you know.
I really like the flashcards idea. Practicing under pressure also sounds smart, even though it might be tough at first.
It helps build confidence. The more you practice under realistic conditions, the easier it feels when it's the real thing. And don't forget, practice speaking your answers aloud. Sometimes we know an answer in our head, but it's different when we have to say it clearly.
Thanks, Anne. Your advice makes me feel less worried and more prepared.
You're doing everything right, Mark. With your hard work and these smart strategies, you'll be more than ready for your citizenship interview. Let's keep it up. You're halfway through all the questions already.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 groups and repeat answers. Part 6, Q5160. Anne and Mark are in their familiar office space. Mark looks focused, ready for the next set of questions. Anne has a notepad and flashcards in hand.
Mark, we're past the halfway point now. Let's continue with questions 51 to 60. Remember, I'll explain each answer fully after you respond.
Thanks, Anne. I'm ready.
Question 51. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. A. Crow. B. Inca. C. Maori.
I'll go with A. Crow.
Correct. The Crow is one of many Native American tribes in the United States. Others include the Cherokee, Navajo, Sioux, and Apache. Each tribe has its own history, culture, and traditions. The Inca and Maori are not American tribes. The Inca are from South America, and the Maori are from New Zealand. Question 52. What did Susan B. Anthony do? A. She fought in the Civil War. B. She fought for women's rights. C. She was a famous artist.
I'll go with B. She fought for women's rights.
Exactly. Susan B. Anthony was a leader in the women's suffrage movement in the 1800s. She traveled the country giving speeches and working to get women the right to vote. Thanks to her and others, the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920, finally allowing women to vote in the U.S. Question 53. Name one state that borders Mexico. A. Oregon. B. California. C. Georgia.
I'll go with B. California.
Correct. California is one of 4 states that share a border with Mexico. The others are Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. Knowing border states is important for both the test and U.S. geography. Question 54. What is the rule of law? A. The president is above the law. B. Only judges must follow the law. C. Everyone must follow the law.
I'll go with C. Everyone must follow the law.
Absolutely right. The rule of law means that everyone, including leaders and government officials, must follow the law. No one is above the law. This protects people's rights and keeps society fair and orderly. It's a basic principle of American government. Question 55. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? A. Because there were 13 original colonies. B. Because there are 13 states. C. Because there are 13 presidents.
I'll go with A. Because there were 13 original colonies.
Correct. The American flag has 13 stripes to represent the 13 original colonies that declared independence from Britain in 1776. These colonies became the first states. The flag's stars represent the 50 states today. Question 56. When do we celebrate Independence Day? A. December 25th. B. July 4th. C. November 11th.
I'll go with B. July 4th.
That's right. Independence Day is celebrated every July 4th. It marks the anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, when the colonies broke away from British rule. July 4th is a major holiday with fireworks, parades, and celebrations across the country. Question 57. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. J.D. Vance. B. Mike Pence. C. Kamala Harris.
I'll go with A. J.D. Vance.
Correct. For the time this answer was written, the name of the vice president can change with elections, so it's very important to check the current vice president's name before your interview. Officers expect you to know the current leaders. Question 58. There were 13 original states. Name 3. A. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire. B. Florida, Texas, Ohio. C. California, Nevada, Arizona.
I'll go with A. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire.
Exactly. These 3, New York, New Jersey, and New Hampshire were among the 13 original colonies that became the first states in the U.S. The full list includes Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and others. States like Florida and California were added much later. Question 59. Name your U.S. representative. A. Answers will vary. B. Joe Biden. C. John Adams.
I'll go with A. Answers will vary.
Right. Your answer depends on where you live. Each congressional district has its own representative in the House. It's very important to find out the name of your own U.S. representative before your test. You can look this up online by entering your address. Question 60. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? A. 4. B. 6. C. 2.
I'll go with C. 2.
Correct. U.S. representatives serve 2-year terms in the House of Representatives. This means every 2 years, all members of the House are up for election. It keeps the House responsive to the people's changing needs and opinions. Mark, you're more than halfway through the questions. That's a huge achievement. How are you feeling about your studying so far?
I feel good, Anne, but sometimes I still worry about remembering everything, especially the names and details that can change.
That's normal. Here are a few more strategies that can help you prepare effectively and feel even more confident. Use technology to your advantage. There are many free apps and online quizzes for U.S. citizenship questions. Practice with them on your phone when you have a spare minute. Keep a tricky question notebook. Write down questions you miss or find confusing. Review those daily. Over time, the list will get shorter. Practice with friends or family. Even if they're not studying for the test, having someone quiz you makes it more realistic and fun. Check for updates. For questions that change, like government officials, always double. Check the answers the night before your interview. Simulate the interview. Have someone play the officer and ask questions randomly. Practice giving clear, confident answers. Review, then rest. The night before your exam, do a light review, then get a good night's sleep. Being rested helps your memory and reduces nerves.
I like the idea of a tricky question notebook. I think sometimes I just need to see a question a few times before it sticks.
Exactly. And you'll find that the more you practice speaking, the more automatic the answers become. Remember, everyone has questions they need to practice more, and that's okay.
I really appreciate all your advice, Anne. I'm feeling more prepared and even a little excited for the interview.
That's what I love to hear, Mark. You've been working so hard and it's paying off. Keep using these strategies and trust yourself. You'll do great.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 Groups and Repeat Answers. Part 7. Q6170. Anne and Mark sit at their usual office table. Mark looks focused and calm. Anne notices the steady improvement in his answers and his comfort level.
Mark, we're up to questions 61 through 70 now, almost 3/4 of the way. Let's go through them together, and remember, I'll give you detailed explanations for each.
I'm ready, Anne.
Question 61. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. He was a U.S. diplomat. B. He was a Civil War general. C. He was a president.
I'll go with A. He was a U.S. diplomat.
Correct. Benjamin Franklin was never a president, but he was one of America's most important founding fathers. He was famous as a diplomat, helping to get French support for the United States during the Revolutionary War. Franklin was also an inventor, writer, and scientist, and he helped write the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Question 62. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. It ended slavery. B. It announced our independence from Great Britain. C. It created the Supreme Court.
I'll go with B. It announced our independence from Great Britain.
Exactly. The Declaration of Independence, signed on July 4, 1776, was the official announcement that the 13 colonies no longer wanted to be ruled by Great Britain. It explained why the colonies wanted freedom and started the Revolutionary War. This document is the foundation of American freedom and self-government. Question 63. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Emancipation Proclamation. B. The Declaration of Independence. C. The Constitution.
I'll go with C. The Constitution.
That's right. The Constitution is the highest law in the United States. All laws, court decisions, and government actions must follow the Constitution. It creates the structure of the government, lists citizens' rights, and explains how the country works. Question 64. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The District Court. B. The Supreme Court. C. The Court of Appeals.
I'll go with B. The Supreme Court.
Correct. The Supreme Court is the top court in the country. It has the final authority to interpret the Constitution and decide important legal cases. Its decisions affect everyone in the United States. Question 65. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? A. The President. B. The Congress. C. The United States.
I'll go with C. The United States.
Absolutely. When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we are promising loyalty to the flag and to the United States itself, not to a person or a branch of government. It's a way to express respect and commitment to the country. Question 66. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? A. Alaska. B. Louisiana. C. Florida.
I'll go with B. Louisiana.
That's correct. The United States bought the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803. This is called the Louisiana Purchase. It doubled the size of the country and included land from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, making it one of the most important land deals in history. Question 67. Who is the governor of your state now? A. Answers will vary. B. Kamala Harris. C. Nancy Pelosi.
I'll go with A. Answers will vary.
Correct. The answer depends on the state where you live. Every state has its own governor. For your interview, it's important to check the current name right before the test. Your interviewer expects you to know your own governor. Question 68. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? A. Pacific Ocean. B. Indian Ocean. C. Atlantic Ocean.
I'll go with C. Atlantic Ocean.
Exactly. The Atlantic Ocean is along the east coast of the United States, stretching from Maine to Florida. It was the ocean crossed by early explorers and immigrants coming to America. The Pacific Ocean is on the west coast. Question 69. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The Chief Justice. B. The Congress. C. The President.
I'll go with C. The President.
Correct. The President is the head of the executive branch, which is responsible for enforcing the laws, running government agencies, and leading the military. The executive branch is one of the three branches of the federal government, along with the legislative and judicial branches. Question 70. When was the Constitution written? A. 1776. B. 1865. C. 1787.
I'll go with C. 1787.
That's right. The Constitution was written in 1787 at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It replaced the Articles of Confederation and has been the foundation of U.S. government ever since. It is the oldest written national constitution still in use today. Mark, you're doing fantastic. You handled even the trickier questions with confidence. But I know even with lots of practice, people can still feel nervous on interview day. Let's talk about how you can stay calm and confident.
That's something I do worry about, Anne. Sometimes just thinking about the interview makes me nervous.
That's totally normal, Mark. Almost everyone feels that way, even if they're well prepared. Here are some ways to help manage your nerves and project confidence. Take deep breaths. If you feel nervous, breathe in slowly and deeply, then breathe out slowly. This tells your body to relax. Pause if you need. If you're unsure about a question, it's okay to take a moment before you answer. The officer expects you to think. Ask for repetition. If you didn't understand a question, politely say, "Could you please repeat the question?" This shows you care about getting it right. Remember, you're prepared. Think about all the time you've spent practicing. Remind yourself that you know these answers. Speak clearly and not too fast. Slow down your speech a little. It will help you remember your answers and sound more confident. Sit comfortably. When you sit down, put both feet on the floor, relax your hands, and sit up straight. Good posture makes you feel stronger. Imagine success. Picture yourself answering questions calmly, one by one. Be honest if you don't know. If you truly forget an answer, it's okay to say, "I'm sorry, I don't remember right now." The officers know it's a lot of information.
That helps a lot, especially about slowing down and taking a breath. I always feel like I have to answer right away.
That's so common, but the interview is not a race. The officers want to see that you understand the material and can communicate clearly. Your attitude and effort count too. They know you're human.
Thanks, Anne. I think with these tips, I'll be able to keep calm and do my best.
I believe it, and if you ever need a reminder, just think back to these sessions and all the progress you've made. You're well prepared, Mark, and you're going to do great.
100 Civics Questions 2025 for U.S. Citizenship. 9 Groups and Repeat Answers. Part 8, Q7180. Anne and Mark sit across from each other at their familiar office desk. Mark has his notes and a smile of determination.
Mark, you've made it to questions 71 through 80, almost at the finish line. Let's go through these together. This time, I've mixed the answer choices for you. 3A, 3B, and 4C. Ready?
I'm ready, Anne.
Question 71. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A. The Civil War. B. World War I. C. The Gulf War.
I'll go with A. The Civil War.
Correct. The Civil War from 1861 to 1865 was fought between the North and South, mainly over slavery and states' rights. It was the bloodiest conflict in American history and led to the end of slavery. Other wars from the 1800s include the War of 1812 and the Mexican-American War, but the Civil War is the most well-known. Question 72. Name one U.S. territory. A. Hawaii. B. Puerto Rico. C. Alberta.
I'll go with B. Puerto Rico.
Exactly. Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. People born in Puerto Rico are U.S. citizens, but the island is not a state. Other U.S. territories include Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Question 73. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? A. The Chinese. B. The Africans. C. The Native Americans.
I'll go with C. The Native Americans.
Correct. Native Americans, also called American Indians, were the first people to live in North America. They had many different tribes, languages, and cultures. Their history is deeply connected to the land and the story of the United States. Question 74. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? A. June 1st, 1775. B. July 4th, 1776. C. September 17th, 1787.
I'll go with B. July 4th, 1776.
Right. On July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was officially adopted. This document announced the American colonies' separation from Britain. That's why we celebrate Independence Day on July 4th every year. Question 75. Name one branch or part of the government. A. The President. B. The Army. C. The Federal Reserve.
I'll go with A. The President.
Correct. The President is the head of the executive branch, one of 3 branches of the U.S. government. The other 2 branches are the legislative, Congress, and the judicial, Supreme Court and other courts. Each branch has separate powers to keep government balanced. Question 76. We elect a U.S. Senator for how many years? A. 4. B. 6. C. 2.
I'll go with B. 6.
Exactly. A U.S. Senator serves a 6-year term. Every state has 2 senators, and elections are staggered, so not all senators are up for election at the same time. This gives the Senate stability and experience. Question 77. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? A. Only the people who voted for them. B. The President. C. All the people of the state.
I'll go with C. All the people of the state.
Correct. A senator represents everyone in their state, no matter which political party they support. This ensures that the whole state's interests are considered in national decisions. Question 78. What is the political party of the president now? A. Democratic. B. Green. C. Republican.
I'll go with C. Republican.
Right. At the time this answer was written, the president belonged to the Republican Party. It's important to double-check this before your interview because the president's political party can change with each election. Question 79. Name 2 national U.S. holidays. A. Thanksgiving and Bastille Day. B. President's Day and Cinco de Mayo. C. New Year's Day and Christmas.
I'll go with C. New Year's Day and Christmas.
Correct. New Year's Day, January 1st, and Christmas, December 25th, are both national U.S. holidays celebrated across the country. Other federal holidays include Independence Day, Thanksgiving, and Memorial Day, but Christmas and New Year's Day are the most widely recognized. Question 80. What is an amendment? A. A law. B. A change to the Constitution. C. A state rule.
I'll go with B. A change to the Constitution.
Exactly. An amendment is an official change or addition to the Constitution. Amendments allow the Constitution to be updated as times and ideas change. The first 10 amendments are known as the Bill of Rights, protecting important individual freedoms. Mark, you handled these questions so well. Now let's talk about staying calm and confident on interview day, because that's just as important as knowing the answers. Remind yourself of your preparation. You've practiced a lot and you know the material. Trust your work. Breathe slowly. If you get nervous, take a few slow, deep breaths. It will help you relax. Listen carefully. Wait for the full question before answering. If you don't understand, ask the officer politely to repeat it. Take your time. It's okay to pause before answering. You don't need to rush. Picture success. Imagine yourself answering questions calmly and confidently. It really helps to visualize doing well. If you forget something, don't panic. It's normal to miss a question or two. Stay positive and focus on the next one. Sit up straight and smile. Good posture and